Oh no, oh no, oh no. The markets dumped, Trump did the tariffs, and now it's over. That's what you most probably saw online. Well, it's quite weird because the week before you saw all of the influencers posting about up only and that we were at crazy all-time highs and that it was time to load up on this token and this token and this token. Well, if you follow the channel and you actually watched the channel and you watched the live stream, you would have known that 3 days ago we did a live stream where we literally anticipated on this move down, where we said, hey, upside potential does make a lot of sense, downwards potential makes a lot of sense. What happened after that is right here, okay? This is the biggest crash we've seen so far. This is even a bigger crash than we have seen since COVID, especially when you're looking at all of the altcoins. So that is what we are going to discuss in this week's update, okay? If you're new to the channel and you don't know me yet, my name is Camille. I also go by the name of Trading Wizard, and on this channel I share the reality of day trading instead of all of the nonsense you see online. So all of the signal groups, all of the call groups and all of the nonsense. No, I made more than 950x publicly in the markets, and now I show what it really takes to become profitable in the space. Yes, the dark sides about it as well. So when we're looking at today, first of all, I think one of the most important things is that I will explain to you guys the context of the markets, okay? I think that a lot of people, they don't understand the markets, and I think that that is the reason why they are pretty confused at the moment. I think a lot of people, they wrongly just blame it on for example, Trump now because they think, yeah, no, it's the tariffs, so he wants to... So he basically ruins it for everyone. Can you guys please let me know in the comments if you hear me? Okay, so when you're looking at this, I want you to understand one thing. When we're currently looking at the markets, literally everything hit an all-time high. So when you're looking at BTC was at all-time high area, so this upper range, for more than 90 days. For the people who don't know, I'm a range trader. So this means that the entire market, I level it in predetermined support and resistance levels, horizontal ones. So you see one here, you see one here, you see one here, you see one here. If you want more context about that, I literally have an entire free school below that you can join, and where you can see how I build up the ranges and how you can do it as well. If you want to do it together with me, there's an option as well to plan a call, and let's see if you're the right fit for the program, and then we can work together. So when we're looking at this, the markets were in all-time high area for almost 3 months, okay? So right here. Now, a lot of people, they are pretty confused when it comes down to the crypto space. And this is why I wanted to give some context. A lot of people, they don't understand the crypto space at the moment. For the simple reason that the crypto market doesn't behave like it's used to, like it used to do anymore. Why? Because when you're looking at the crypto space, in the beginning we had something called the crypto money flow. So where basically money flows from one token into another token. Now there's a very big difference, and that is that currently we have a Bitcoin ETF. And how I want you to see it is, I want you to see it like this, where we have a cup, then we have a cup below here, and we have a cup below here. Then right here we have a cup, right here we have a cup, and right here we have a cup. Okay, when you're looking at this cup system almost, you have to see it like this. Back in the days, this cup had 2 holes. And even if you put water, let's say we are putting water in here now, this is the Bitcoin cup. This money or this water would flow into the cups below this. This one had a hole here, and this one had a hole here. This one had a hole here, and this one had a hole here. So every single time when you move money into the cup, it directly flows into here. This was when the money was on chain. So when basically some people made money in the, on Bitcoin, now they have it on chain, and now they want to move it into a more riskier asset. So here you had, for example, Ethereum, and then here you had Sol. And in this way, you had something called the crypto money flow, where after this, the water would go into these, and this would cause an alt season. This is something a lot of people are waiting for a very long time. Everyone is waiting for the alt season to happen. Now, there changed something, and that is, in my opinion, the reason why we don't have an explosive alt season at the moment. Bitcoin, the cup is full. What makes a lot of people think, okay, the money will rotate into this now. What you have to understand is Bitcoin is full because we currently have something new, and it's called an ETF, okay? When you're looking at the ETF itself, the ETF is not on-chain like it's used to, but it's held by the institutions. So what happens is how usually the money flowed out of the markets through these holes are now this big. Okay, so instead of this big hole that we're used to, we now have two very small holes. And instead of the money flowing out, the money now is dripping into the market. Not like what we are used to, okay? This gives a very inflated Bitcoin price. Well, when you're looking at the markets, what a lot of people hoped for is that it directly moved into the rest of the market. Well, when you're taking a look at this, did it actually move into the rest of the market? Let's say, for example, we're taking a look at Uniswap, one of the DEXs of Ethereum. We are still down 5, or when you look at it from this perspective, they are still 5x towards the previous all-time high. When we're taking a look at tokens like AVAX, so one of the biggest previous projects of the previous market cycle, boom, 6x as well. When you're looking at this, what I want you to understand is this is not a usual market cycle. What a lot of people think. Okay, so a lot of people they don't understand the markets at the moment. One of the biggest problems in this is that they are now going into leverage positions at all-time highs. And now we're jumping into the reason why I think that this happened here. And not just in the crypto space, but also when we're going to take a look, for example, at stocks in general. Okay, now what I want you to understand. Every single time when something is at an all-time high, we have two ways how we saw that the market most probably would go down first. And that again, I explained everything in the previous live stream. You've literally seen it live. I'm not friends with the president, so I could know that this could happen. No, it was just technicals and common sense that made me play this entire move here. That's why you see some Loro Piana backs in the back as well. Okay. Besides this, guys, what I want you to understand, one of the biggest reasons for me was one, the all-time high that we made after 90 days wasn't a big one. What I want you to understand, every single time when we made a new all-time high, you had some moment of this before, where it builds up the volume to actually make a explosive new high. Same goes when we're looking at this high, so the run towards 100K. Before we did that, we first had 250 or 244 days before we actually moved towards a new high. Same goes for this area here. We first had, and this doesn't seem like a lot, but if you look at it, a period of almost 40 days of the price building up volume before it actually goes towards a new high. More than 100 views and just a couple of likes. Dutch blood. Love you, man. Guys, you know what? Good moment. Like this video and subscribe to the channel, okay? If you like this kind of content. I said it. If you guys like it enough and the views are up, then I will do this every single week, okay? So when we're looking at this, guys, again, one of the signs for me was it's pretty clear to see that this is not a strong all-time high. I was one of the only influencers who was able to short in this market here as well, for exactly the same reasons. One, the range told me that I had to short. Two, it didn't make the explosive all-time high that a lot of people were waiting on, and everyone was waiting on the imaginary 100K. That was absolutely based on nothing. Same goes right here. Everyone is waiting for this magical alt season while they don't understand the context of the markets. When someone joins my program or when someone goes into my coaching, the first thing that they have to do is they're going through a phase of understanding the crypto space. They're going through a phase of understanding the markets and how money flows. This must be number one. Technicals is something that is the core, but you need to understand what you're trading in. And again, most people, unfortunately, at the moment, don't put any time in understanding the money flow behind this, okay? So that's an important one. when we're looking at this, what did a lot of people do is they build up leverage positions. So they are all hyped because they think, okay, if BTC breaks here now, because some random influencer gives you a full wash list of tokens to go into because they get paid by the project to basically dump their bags on you, and some people are too retarded to actually believe it, they are going to end up playing with leverage. So they will end up playing with, okay, I'm going into this investment now, and I'm going in Uniswap. Yeah, and in Uniswap, they're building up a leverage position because they think, okay, if BTC goes from here, then Uniswap will go all the way towards this high. So let me play with some leverage. Now, what do is every single time when someone adds a leverage position, same goes with the futures right here, is it basically, I would almost say, sickens the market. So how you need to view it is you have a room, okay? A pretty small room. When you're looking at the room, I want you to see it as every single time when there is a liquidation build-up, yeah? So someone places a leverage trade. Now there's a little bit of gas added in the room, okay? Now, you went all in with 40x leverage, and now you're telling your friend. Your friend gets hyped, sees the all-time high. Okay, I'm going to enter a leverage position as well. Well, what does he do now? He is going to go all in as well. Every single time when someone opens up a leverage position, what happens? Gas in the room, gas in the room, gas in the room. That is basically what happened here for more than 90 days. So for more than 90 days, people are speculating on this imaginary alt season here because they think up only. Same goes right here, okay? Every single time it made a small new high, so they think, okay, leverage, 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 leverages. What happens when this happens is at the end of the line, you have a room filled up with gas. This needs to happen, a little flame, and the room will explode. Okay? This, and the room will explode. Now, when you're looking at the news, again, when you're looking at the tariffs in China, what I want you to understand, it was already announced earlier in the week. It didn't do anything in the markets. That was basically already the initial news. You need to see it like this, the easiest saying, buy the rumor, sell the news. The rumor itself didn't do anything. It was the confirmation, that was the little flame that actually busted everything. Because just a little down move, a little trigger can cause this entire dump right here. Okay, why? Because every single time when someone, again, let's see it like this, every single time when someone plays with leverage, their stop gets closer, closer, closer. The higher the leverage, the closer the stop. This needs to happen for the market to trigger at an important level. And for example, the 100x's now are liquidated. Once the 100x's are liquidated, the contract basically switched. Boom, now the 90x's. Boom, now the 80x's. And in this way, it went down all the way towards here. Again, this was on BTC. And on BTC, we have a pretty sharp move down. But when you're looking at the rest of the market, guys, everything saw spikes to the craziest lows. Why? Because people are waiting for an alt season. Okay, so what do? Their favorite projects, like for example a Injective, or let's say a AFAX. What happened here? Look, it went to the absolute range. So until this level, there were trades built up. Yeah, every single level had the same thing. Don't get a seizure when I'm showing you this chart here. But this is the same thing for BTC. So the reason why I have this is because these were one of my biggest trades of the year here that I did publicly as well. When you're looking, so it's basically just a trophy chart for me. When you're looking at this, and this one I played as well. When you're looking at this, it went to the exact low of this range, and then it spiked up towards here. Okay? Now this is a pretty interesting move if you ask me. Now you can say, okay, Camille, what is happening now? Why is there a Christmas tree? Guys, I have to say this. I have a lovely wife, and she likes to decorate the house. It's almost Christmas, and she thought, you know what, let me already put it there. For me, it's just a good reason to buy a lot of presents. So I love Hermes, and now I have a reason to go even more. So that's why I did it. Bro literally warned everyone. Exactly. So when I'm looking at this, now the big question is, what's next? And I think that is the reason why a lot of people came to this stream. For me, it's very simple. It's Sunday today, and I won't judge on a Sunday. Now, why won't I judge on a Sunday? Let me show you something that is pretty clear, again, if you trade the ranges. This range right here, okay? The all-time high range. What do we see here? We have a very large dump on a Friday. What happened is we broke below the range. Now, breaking below is one, but we can still deviate back in. That is basically what I want to see for tomorrow. Do we get a Monday candle back in here? Because when we're looking at this, look at this downwards move. Again, it's a pretty aggressive one. What is this? On a Friday, 4% down move. What is this? 4% down move. What happens on a Monday, guys? Boom. Reclaims the range. Okay? What is this right here? Let me see. Boom. Surprise, surprise. 4% down move. What happens on a Monday? Deviates back inside of the range. This goes on in the entire chart. The only thing that you will see is, for example, once we have the range here. Once you have the range here and it doesn't reclaim on a Monday, you will have the full downwards move. So this is something that I'm waiting for. Tomorrow is my biggest decision moment of the market. I want to see, do we reclaim back inside of this one in the stock market? If not, and we close below here, then I will look for upcoming downwards potential. Now the question is, how you need to see it is when you're looking at the S&P, BTC is basically the S&P on steroids. So this means as well that when I'm looking at this, BTC is currently in between ranges. We have range 1 and we have range 2. It is currently in between ranges. The question is, are we going back in this range or are we heading towards this range? Now just ask yourself a very simple question. Sorry guys. When I'm looking at this, now I want to ask myself, okay, does this look familiar to this one? We have one range here, we have one range here, and we are currently in the middle of the range. We have one range here, we have one range here, and we are currently in the middle right here. Again, the S&P is basically the bigger brother of BTC. So what do I know? I want to see where it reclaims in tomorrow. If it goes back inside of the range, then I'm potentially going to play this one. Again, I think it's so stupid that a lot of people, they think, okay, now because we had a downwards move, we need to be bearish. In my opinion, it's exactly the opposite. Right here, I was very bearish, as you guys seen in the live stream. Now I'm more bullish. Why? Because at the end of the day, the explanation I gave with the gas, the room itself now, there's no gas in the room anymore. So this means that you can put a fire on there and the market won't explode. Well, right here, anything could have triggered the markets. Any kind of news. Okay? And that was in my opinion, one of the most dangerous parts. Now we are back all the way towards here. Towards this level, the market is basically cleaned up. And again, just for reference, this here, Atom literally went to zero. Okay, another crypto token. Almost everything, look, boom, all the way towards here, boom, all the way towards here. All of these were just leveraged up tokens. Now all of that leverage is out of the markets. Now what I want you to understand. If you currently lost a big sum of money, again, you're seeing someone who lost more than $2.4 million in one day on the Luna crash, okay? 2.41 million. 2.41. 2.4 million in one day. That's quite some money. And I know the feeling how it is to lose almost everything. If you're currently in this stage, I just asked myself one question. Can I do it again? If the answer is no, it meant it was all luck. I hated that feeling. So what did I know? I lost it all. Let me prove myself that I can make it back with a skill. And that's what I did. And that's when I went all in on ranges. Again, when you are in the markets now, and if you lost a substantial amount of money, understand that one strategy can literally save everything for you. If you want to see it, free school, everything explained about ranges. Okay, if you want to do it with me, just book in a call. One of the biggest problems that a lot of people have is that they are relying on investments. You need to understand, for a trader, the market is always fun. Why? Because we can long the market when it goes up and we can short it when it goes down. For investors, this is not the same case. They, first of all, don't put any effort in understanding the market and the money flow, and they don't understand how ranges work and the entire market behaves. Again, my outlook for the upcoming week will all depend on how tomorrow opens. If tomorrow we get above, again, above this one here, most probably I will look for better positions towards the upside than towards the downside, all depending on the reclaim, of course. Same goes for me with BTC. Okay, because again, it follows it. So that is my outlook for now, and this is, I think, the most important thing. This, in my eyes, is the reason why we saw this entire dump here. Again, I think that a lot of people, by mistake and by misunderstanding, just randomly blamed, okay, it's the tariffs, so that's why we went down. In my opinion, it's not. In my opinion, when you're looking at this right here is the area where a lot of greedy people entered the market with a lot of leverage. When you're looking at these kind of moves down in a trending market, it is not something that is very weird. Okay, just for reference, before we went up 100% on Bitcoin, we went down first in 4 days with 30%. Okay, before we went up here with 40%, we went down here in almost 2 days with 20%. So when you're looking at this, again, I want to wait. Yes, I want to wait until I see the right picture. So I want to see how does it reclaim back in. Again, what I mentioned on my Instagram as well, once we have the reclaim back inside of green, for me, it looks more positive. If we close and stay below this, I will look for my shorts. Again, most of it will all depend for me on this. And this will tell it tomorrow. Yes, I don't trust weekend price action. This is why most of the time I don't trade on weekends. So let's see how this unfolds. Now guys, again, if you like the reality of trading and if you want no nonsense and just someone explaining the markets for what it is, instead of, hey, buy this token now if you want to get rich, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video. And again, if you want to understand more of how ranges work and how to approach the markets in general, make sure to go to either my free school or to book in a call below, and then we can work together. All right? Guys, thank you all for watching. I hope you liked it, and I will see you all in the next one. Ciao, ciao.